Today, I can describe the subject of this video with no words whatsoever. That. Oh, shoot! Ouch! TJ0. What's up, dudes? Welcome to the TJ0 channel. So in this video, I am going to show you how to solve the problems that you find in your Beyblade Burst sparking launcher. I've watched plenty of videos on YouTube on this, and I've had to fix a couple launchers myself. Now, if you're like me, and you can't just, say, oh, it's broken, I'm just going to throw it away and buy a new one. I know I can't do that. I bought one replacement launcher for a sparking launcher, but I've run into a few problems so far. Anyways, I'm going to show you how to undo a bound string, how to rethread your spring, how to replace your string. Everything I know how to do. Let's get to it. You only need a flathead screwdriver and a Phillips head or crosshead screwdriver. So as you can see, I had already gotten started before I came up with the idea for this video, but I will be showing you how to take these apart. Step 1 is disassembly, but you need to start with this screw, or in the center. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws on the outside, and then the shell pops off. Let's get to it. Alright, so I kind of did it backwards, but it's not really that important what one you do first. Note, make sure that you have a container or a cup or something to keep all of your little screws in, as these parts are very tiny and they're extremely easy to lose. So now that we've undone these 6 screws, I'm going to dump them out. Be careful, you don't want to lose these. Next, do this, and you want to put your thumb right here so it doesn't move on you, up against the little thing guy there. Dump it out. Separate it. Take this piece out because it's got to come off anyways. That is disassembly now. When you take this apart, be careful, because if you only have a bound string, you're not going to want to have to rewind your tension. Imagine the string's not all screwed up and it's just bound, wound up in here somewhere like this. So you've disassembled your launcher, you open it up, and you find a big old wad of string. So now you just kind of go like that. Pull it down. Note this guy here, like this. It's got to rest in here. This little metal part. It's where the string pulls in and out of. And when putting this back, move these pieces back over this little rod and this plastic piece, because this has to go around that rod. That is bound string. Next problem I've come across. A spring that has retracted into the case. If you look closely, you can see a metal piece in here. But TJ0, I don't see a metal piece. You are crazy. What are you talking about? Well, you're right. There is no metal piece here. This is what it should look like. This one is from my other one that I've already fixed. Can you see it right in here? So anyways, that's what we're going to tackle next. Alright, so the first step here, see these 3 little screws? We've got to remove the top of this case. Or it's going to stay there, that's fine too, just set it down. Next, take out your string. This part right here has got to come out now. See it moving? I know my focus is terrible, I apologize. So just carefully, you can turn it upside down, push on this little center guy here, and set your case aside. Now, this part, you've got to be very careful. If it explodes everywhere on you, which I didn't have happen to me, and we're going to try to avoid, but if it does, I'll walk you through how to redo it. I've watched it enough times. It's simple, just tedious, so be patient, and your patience will be rewarded. You can see there's a little crack in here. You can see this little crack in here. What I've been doing is wedge a fingernail under here. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I found a trick. So I'm putting my nail over this here, and then there's a little notch here that push up with another fingernail. Make sure you're not covering the top of this part though. You need that to pop up like that. Hear the sound? Try it again. Right there. Now you can get underneath it. Now be very careful because this is where the spring wants to jump out on you. Keep this little rod that's here, keep your thumb on it, and move, kind of wiggle your thumb in over the edge so you're covering the spring when you open it up, if you don't want to have to rethread the entire thing. So there's that. Now, alright, so I think, it's trying to do some crazy jump here. So I have not yet encountered this problem, but we're gonna just be very patient and careful. You don't want to get cut, and you don't want to break the spring either. We're gonna just kind of grab this part here, the folded bit, push it back down, and carefully, there we go, it's back in. Okay, and all the while, keep a thumb or a finger around the coil so it doesn't pop out and explode all crazy like on you. Sorry, off camera again, so I'm gonna try to get this back around here. Remember to keep your finger over the side at all times, or it's going to pop out on you. Alright, it's back inside. Now, let's still work with it like this. I'm going to slide this over to that thing here. Remember to check your arrow counterclockwise for the spring, or left. So when you're on the other side, you gotta go right, give it tension. And it does seem to work still. Okay, so that is good. Notice the little bends here and here. You need these to be sticking out. So we're gonna find the slot is right here. And this is way over here. So what I'm gonna try to do is rotate the entire thing until we're just about to the point where we can pop that back out the slot. Very carefully take your nail between the spring and the wall and slide it over out of the slot. There we go. See, it's working. Pull this out. Now I have seen people do tricks where they bend this to try and make it stronger, or they do something like cut a slit. I'm only going to show you the way to get it back to normal. This little tab here, you need this bend to go over that. Got the bend over the tab. Now we've got to get this piece back on. There are 3 little tabs here on the outside. There's one here on the opposite side, right here, one in the back that is smaller here. You want these little holes to line up with the sides and back of this so it's right. Right where it goes, and you'll hear the little snap. So this is good. Next step. So now you have to get this back in here, and you can see where the holes line up. Now it only goes in one way, so you can't really mess it up. See, this notch has to go with this tab right here. Line up your tab with your notch. Bam! There you go. Now you can see your spring in there. There's a piece of metal, and it is good. So that is rewinding your spring. Next part, you gotta put your string back in here. Well, I am going to use this string, a TJ0. That's an another launcher. How are you gonna do that? Well, I'm going to take this one apart. Save your spare parts, like these little screws will come in handy. Same idea. This just comes right out. So where we left off. We're going to replace the string. Put the string in here. Kind of work it around into the little crevice here. Put this back on your top. Now you can see where this is going to have to go. See how that's shaped? You can tell where it's got to line up now. It can only really go back on one way. Line this up. Put your screws in. Look at the side. Alright, now you can see and hear where the line is. If there's a gap anywhere in there, you've got it on wrong and you need to reposition it. But it looks like it's flush all the way around. So we're going to go ahead and tighten these screws down all the way. Don't turn it too tight. Like if you start to do that, then you probably got it in all the way. There's an arrow here on this side. This is the one you want when you're winding your string back up. Here's your arrow for your string. It's pointing to the left or counterclockwise. So wind your string that way. And don't go all the way because you're going to need some slack when you go to put back in the launcher. This little square here, you're going to have to fit in this block, this little square hole here. The little slot for tightening up your spring mechanism here needs to be horizontal like this so that it can line up with the other side of the case right here. It's going to go in here. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it does need to be very close. We'll put it up in here and we can just let go of that for the moment. So now that you've got that there, you've got to carefully maneuver this so that you don't move the metal piece or the handle out of the launcher. You just want to slightly lift this up out of your launcher. Wind this back up a little bit. I like to have the peg in here for this because it's going to have to be there anyways when you're done. So now you take your flathead and you follow this arrow, and I just push it up slightly against the other gear, taking this counterclockwise. Just take your flathead, make sure you don't put too much pressure on it. For one, you don't want to break this, and you also don't want to push it down into the hole because it will snap this mechanism. Follow your arrow. 1, 1. That's one full turn. Turn it 7 times, 7 or 8 times total, then put it back down. You don't want to be too tight. Release. There goes the tension. Now don't panic if that happens, you just start over, which it can be frustrating, but be patient, it will work. So get it set to the center horizontally. Now half, 1, half, 2, half 3, half 4, half 5, half 6, half 7, and we go half. We're gonna go 8 times because this is a longer string. Now be careful as you place this back down. You want to remember this has to be horizontal or as close as you can freaking get it. Don't let go of the screwdriver until it's in place, or it's gonna retract on you and you gotta do it all over again. And it can be, oh, you son of a bitch. See? Just like that. You do want to make sure that this metal piece is in here. I think that's the part where I messed up. And that's how, when I let go, it retracted on me. That's actually the first time that has ever happened to me while redoing this. Anyways, lift it up carefully. 8. Carefully place it back down. Pull this part like that. There we go. I got it. Alright. Sweet. Now, carefully do that. If you could understand any of that, I was saying be very careful. It might take a little bit of complicated maneuvering, but you'll get it. Be patient, be careful. It's very tedious. But as you can see, I've done it. Now be careful placing the shins back together here, as you don't want to release the tension again, or have your spring pop out or anything stupid like that. Just line these holes up on the outside, these pegs. Make sure these little thing guys in these slots, make sure they're in there. It's meant to have some play. So now, before you put your other 6 screws back in, give it a test hole. Make sure you hold this tight. Looks flush all the way around. And not only have we repaired it, it is now upgraded with a longer string. Let's see how it launches into battle. I mentioned earlier about how I had to fix my left spin launcher too. We're going to compare this to the other one, right spin sparking launcher, but my long bay launcher, the old kind. So let's do our drop test quick. How much farther this guy goes. It's actually like the whole length of the launcher. And keep in mind, this is not the string from the original sparking launcher either. This is about how much longer this is compared to the sparking launcher string. So this is actually 2 launcher lengths longer than a sparking launcher string. They're pretty short. Do a test battle. For those of you that have been watching my channel will recognize these. World Longinus, first Uranus combo. Right, repaired and upgraded sparking launcher with long bay cord. World Longinus versus Dark Flare Uranus. Oh, nice, Uranus. That was how to repair and or upgrade your Beyblade Burst sparking launcher. And I hope it was helpful for you, and I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and comment any combos or battles you would like to see. I'll be sure to mention you in the corresponding video. Thanks again for watching, and remember, don't do drugs. Play with bays. Bye-bye.